Hey there, clan, welcome to Worth It or Not, hosted by me, Scottish Warrior 92, and in today's installment of Worth It or Not, I'm going to be answering the simple question: is Valiant Heart the Great War for PS4 worth it or not? Sit down and enjoy, and I hope I can answer that question. Okay, firstly, give my overall thoughts of this game before it came out. This game was announced this year at E3. The trailer came out, and it was a very sad and somber trailer. Beautiful music, by the way. Absolutely love the music in it. And I'm going to be honest, I wasn't that hyped for it. The game was like, it's normally a type of game that I don't normally play. It's a puzzle game, and it's an art style I've never liked, in all honesty. And I was like, it looks like Ubisoft trying to be indie again, with Child of Light, which is another game that didn't really interest me. I'm going to be honest, but I did, after hearing several people's opinions on it, not really reviews, just people's thoughts on it, tweets, and asking a friend or two. I said, you know what, screw it, I'll pick it up. I was initially intending on Let's Playing this game, but I ended up deciding not to, and I'm kind of glad I did decide not to, because I don't think it would have suited my style of Let's Plays. I think, even though I probably would have made up a couple, this is the type of game that I don't think I could have made fun of. I don't think I could have cracked any jokes. The Let's Play would have primarily been me being silent, because I was silent for the entire. Normally, when I'm playing a game, I crack jokes, but this one I couldn't crack any jokes. I honestly couldn't. So firstly, we'll talk about the story. The story is set during World War One. It starts in 1914, and it follows It follows 1, 2, 3. I've got the names here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It primarily follows 4 characters. There is a 5th character that follows, but you don't start following him until pretty late into the game. And these characters are Anna, Freddy, Emil, and a dog named Watt. Yeah, a dog named Watt. I think that's his name. It's difficult to read the handwritten stuff. And each of these characters has their own individual story that does connect with each other. They all interact with each other and interact with each other in the game to help each other complete their tasks in the story. And I'll go over each one's story quite briefly. Emil is a farmer whose daughter's husband was taken away from them because he was a German who was living in France, and during World War One. Any German nationalists in France were told to get the fuck out, basically. And he signed up for the war to protect his family, but also try and maybe reunite his daughter with her husband and his grandson with her husband, with a grandson with his father, and also defending all that. He's a very patriotic person. Freddy, who is he's an American from France, American who came to France for various reasons, and he wanted to get payback on a certain I think it's Baron, who you interact with in the game. Well, mostly he's a boss fight, and he wants to get payback on him for something that he lost. I won't spoil what it is because it is quite part of the story. And Anna, a medic who actually starts as a veterinarian, and she just wants to save her father, who's been kidnapped by the Germans. And Watt, who does have a story, he just wants to find his owner, and you help him through that. And it actually he surprisingly has a lot of emotion for a dog. There is another character you do is Carl. He's the German who's Emil's son-in-law, I think, if memory serves me. It's quite ambiguous with that. And he wants to see his wife again. He wants to see his child, and that's his whole goal. It's very late on in the story, but I can't really talk about it too much without spoiling it. But yeah, that's the primary aspect. So it's a very simple story for a lot of them, but the stories all interconnect with each other and make it into a bit of a better story. The primary aspect of this game, however, is to show that World War One wasn't pretty. There are actually a lot of diary entries from the characters who talk about the war, and also facts and collectibles in the game that will actually tell you a little bit more about the war. Even has little photographs that will actually show you pictures during World War One with the little facts about them, like about the trenches, disfigurement, injuries, deaths, no man's land. It gives you a lot of information about World War One, which was not a pretty thing. It was not a nice thing to see. It's definitely one of the darkest times in human history, with hundreds of thousands of innocent people and soldiers being killed. Very brutal war, and this game definitely makes sure that you know this. It makes sure that you know this wasn't pretty. The characters and the art style that they use is to give a little bit of highlight, a little bit of sympathy and a little bit of information about World War One, which was not. Most people know World War Two, World War One. A lot of people know about it. Well, people know about it, but they don't know as much about that as they do World War Two, because that's where the Nazis and all that was. But this one was a very this game tries to show that this was just as brutal. Even talking a little bit about chemical warfare that was used during World War One, which is not a pretty thing. And that's the main element of this game. It's trying to show you, and it does actually make you think a lot about it. The story is very well done and very well told. The characters in the game actually don't talk at all. They actually, well, they say one or two words at certain points, but that's about the primarily person who talks in the game is the narrator, who talks about the character's story and also a little bit about the war and how devastating it was to France and all the other countries involved. That's the primary aspect of the story, and it's a very well told story. It isn't mind blowing, but it's not meant to be mind blowing. It's actually meant to tell you about the story about these characters and also a little bit about the World War One, and it's very informative when it does that. So it does its job very well. The gameplay is primarily puzzle platforming. That's what you're going to be doing. You'll be solving puzzles, using the dog to help you solve puzzles, trying to find what item that goes to X, Y, and Z. Like, where does this item go? Where does that item go? And each character has their own unique ability. And as a medic, Watt can go into small places and pick up items. Freddy is a demolition expert. He can cut barbed wire. And Emil, he has a shovel and digs. Yeah, that's a bit. And Carl punches. But yeah, that's all. Each character has their own, and you'll use their unique abilities to solve the puzzles that you're in. Anna even has a little mini game when she's treating injured soldiers, which is they're very they're kind of in the style that they do it. Even there, it's brutal. And that's primarily the gameplay, which is very simple, very simplistic, easy to understand and easy to pick up. There isn't a lot of gameplay in this game. You don't fire a gun in this, by the way, if you're wondering. So yeah, that's brutal. So apologize. I guess I could talk a little bit about the art style of the game. The art style of the game is very unique. It's kind of like hand-drawn art, and it looks very well. It's like one of those little slide things. You put one layer on top of another layer on top of another layer, and you call it a little cartoony thing. Not too cartoony, like cel-shaded and very very detailed aspect of it. It's all like it kind of looks like a cartoon in some instances, but a very dark cartoon. Didn't expect that. And the art style suits the game very well, and it was very enjoyable for that aspect. And the last thing I can talk about is the soundtrack. The soundtrack's phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. And some of the best songs are the sad songs, the one with the piano and all that crap, because piano makes everything sad. I really enjoyed the soundtrack of this game. It's probably one of the soundtracks I'm going to definitely pick up. It was very well used. The music definitely suited the environment and definitely changed the tone of each scene that you were in. Some scenes were meant to be happy, so they played happy music. Sometimes they meant to be sad, so they played sad music. And sometimes they spoke over. The only character who really has a voice actor is Emil, but that's doing certain scenes when he's writing to his daughter, and there is this voice actor for that. And certain scenes here, the music will actually play during it. It's very sad, somber music, and it's very well done. I've got to give them that. So the music is an excellent part of this game. Final thoughts. This game surprised me. I wasn't expecting this from me. I knew it was going to be a sad game, but this game actually brought me to tears at some points. It actually made me cry a little bit, I'm not going to lie. And very surprising, I'm not going to lie. It takes a lot for me to cry in any game or movie. There's not a lot of movies or games that make me cry unless I get invested in it. And this game I did get invested in it with the story. When I wanted these characters to end in a happy note, but I knew that they wouldn't. And it's very sad at certain points, and it did bring me to tears at 1 or 2 points, I'm not going to lie. And I did really enjoy it. I did have a lot of fun, and it takes a lot for that. And I'm going to say it right now, if you haven't, I definitely have to say this right now, this game's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth picking up. I'm saying it right now. Is it worth it or not? Hell yes, it is worth it. I will say that if you're not into a story-driven game, then you probably want to skip it, because this is a story-driven game. It's not a shooter, it's not an action game, it's story-based. It concentrates heavily on the story and the puzzle elements as well. It is a puzzle game, so you'll have to understand that as well. I normally don't like these puzzle games, but this was surprisingly good, and I really, really did enjoy it, I'm not going to lie. As it brought me to tears at some points. I definitely say that this is definitely a surprise for me. I was not expecting it to be as good as it is, but it was. It was really, really good and surprising. So this is definitely one of the games that I can definitely say is worth it for me personally. And I definitely would say that if you haven't played it yet, if you're on the fence about it, I would definitely say at least give it a try. It's not even a full retail price game. It's the price of a DVD, in my opinion. Well, depending on where you get the DVDs. It's the price of a Blu-ray. And I definitely would say, definitely pick it up if you haven't already, on PC or PS4, whatever platform you get it on. It is worth the price of admission. I will warn you, it is not pretty. It is not a glorification of war. It is a true telling, well, not really true. It shows you that war wasn't pretty. That war isn't as happy and glorious as a lot of these movies and games show. It is brutal, and a lot of people died. And I would recommend that if you haven't played it, definitely pick it up if you haven't already. It is a surprisingly good game in my opinion, and a surprisingly good story. I don't regret my purchase, and I definitely would recommend it. So overall, is Valiant Hearts: The Great War worth it? Yeah, definitely. Hands fucking down. It is definitely worth every penny that it asked. I don't regret my purchase, and I definitely would definitely not. I would feel bad if I didn't play this. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Definitely suggest you play it if you haven't already. But I will say, if you're not into heavily story-driven games, or games that are very sad, and also are very story and puzzle-driven, definitely don't pick it up, because you'll probably hate the game. But I think the game's very well done and very well told, in my opinion. And I definitely think it's worth it. So I think that's all I've got to say on it. Thank you for watching. As always, I am Scottish Warrior 92, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now. Hey there, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you want to help this channel out in any way, shape or form, you can hop over to my Patreon page and donate a minimum of $1 a month to help towards resources for the channel, licenses, equipment and other resources. And hopefully you will consider at least having a little look at my Patreon page, which is linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.